Good morning on this bright and sunny Sunday morning. So it's very unusual for me to come in on a Sunday. Normally, sorry, wobbling you around. My microphone is in spaghetti. It is very unusual for me to come in on a Sunday morning, but as we missed a couple of days in the week and as I've got nowhere else to be, I thought I might as well come and join you on a Sunday morning. I will try to go back to just being the 5 weekdays next week, because obviously Mike's at home today, so although that's okay, he's rubbing his hands together and has gone off to put something on Netflix that he knows that I won't like to watch. So all is well, everybody is happy, and we, as promised, I'm going to come in and play with the Tropical Oasis Memory and More cards. Now, we've been playing with this Tropical Oasis suite all week, and we've done various things with it. We've made a whole host of cards, and we'll look at those again in a little while. Let me just grab out my catalogue that's getting tattier by the day. Morning Div, morning Beryl. So here we have, it's just even got even worse now because I've just torn it. Here we have this Tropical Oasis catalogue suite that we've been using, and we've played with the papers and the stamps and the dies and the embossing folders. We've stuck on a little bit of the Oasis trinkets. I don't think we've used any saddle brown stays on. Hi Angie, this week. How are you doing? Have you got your phone charger yet, Angie? So we've used all of those. We've used, it's so frustrating, isn't it, when you're waiting for something like that? So we've got, we've used all of these things, but the thing we haven't used is the Memory and More card pack. So that's what we're going to have a bit of a play with today. And this is really, come and join me for lazy Sunday morning crafting, because as you can see, although this is opened, I've not even really decided what cards we're going to use. So I thought it would be a very much, let's open this pack of cards and let's just play with them as you would play with them if you were sitting down at home with this pack of cards. And I've also got a pack of the assorted Memory and More cards and envelopes. And these cards and envelopes, you can see I've not even opened it. These cards and envelopes are sized to go with the Memory and More cards. Now obviously Memory and More cards, their sort of history, where they come from, is the idea of using them to create sort of scrapbook albums. We've got them. Hi Molly. We have the albums with the pockets in, and these cards are sized perfectly to fit in the pockets into a Memory and More album pocket. Let's grab my box of Memory and More pockets. Let's have a look. So some of these may be retired, but they're all still going to work regardless of whether they're or not they are. So the idea, one of the main ideas between them is for your memory keeping. So you've got these pockets, and these are 6x4, and these are 4x3. Right, I was trying to think what half was then. And the idea is that you can take your little cards here, and you can just slip them into your pockets, add in your photos, and before you know where you are, you've got a beautiful page to put into your album. So this is your photo of you sitting by the pool, or with your feet up in the garden with your barbecue or whatever. There we are, my happy place. Could have that one in there as well. So you can very quickly build up your pockets for your scrapbooks. So it's really quick because you just then pop in your photographs. So that's one of the original ideas of these cards, and what their sort of background and history is. But they are Memories and More for a reason, because that's not the only reason that you can use them. So because of the more aspect of these Memory and More cards, Stampin' Up have produced these card packs. So as you can see, I can just fold that card in half. I've got an envelope to match it. I can fold this little card in half, I've got an envelope to match it. So if you want to make some really nice, quick and easy cards, you can do that with this pack. I'm just going to check my heater. Oh, let's turn that off, although it's not really blowing out any heat. The sun's come back out today again, so it's feeling quite warm in here. Okay, so we've got our cards, we've got our envelopes, we've got our card packs. Let's have a little quick look through this card pack. Now, it could be that at this time of the year, this time of the world, if you like, you know, where we are at the moment with the situation in the world, it could be that you would like to send out a whole host of cards to somebody and you want something quick and easy to enable you to do that. This enables you quickly and easily to do a whole stack of cards and things. So let's have a little quick look at these. So you've got 2 of each of these cards in this pack. So you get 2 of each design. Rest and relaxation, that's got leaves on. There's our lovely pineapple. That one's just good for a bit of journaling, stamping. There's those cards. Let's go to the beach. Oh, how many of us are thinking that? Aloha. So if you just want to say hello, whether you want to just greet somebody, or whether you've actually just come, you know, you're sitting there with your photos of your last Hawaiian holiday that you want to put into an album. Really useful. Oh, look at that. It's really lovely, isn't it? Really pretty, these cards are. They're beautiful. The My Happy Place, we've just looked at that one with all that fruit and things on the back. See you soon. Oh. Oh, look, there's all those sort of Hawaiian guitars, and then you've got the bigger cards, the 6x4s, and again, I mean, that's just a fabulous background to add in, and of course there's no reason why you can't double these up. So let's have a card like that. In fact, let's turn it around this way and have one of those on the top, and you're soon starting to get some beautiful cards. Excellent, Molly, these are really good. Loving Today, that's a good one for your sort of positive journaling, your grateful journals and things. There's some palm trees. The best is yet to come. That would be a good card to send somebody at this time, wouldn't it, if they're feeling a bit down. Mahalo. Mahalo, is that how that says? I would have to look that up to see what that means. If somebody knows, let me know. Look at that beautiful framing there. Bananas. If you want to send a card that says, I'm bananas about you. Hugs, kisses and good vibe wishes. There's a good card to be sending, and some flamingos. That's another frame. That's those beautiful flowers like the ones we cut out. And then you've also got stickers and things. Thanks, thinking of you today and always. Sunshine and tropical greetings. You've got these beautiful stickers here with the flowers on, some little hearts, some frames. Enjoy, banners, some more frames and hearts, and you get 2 of each of those. So you get a really lovely bundle of products that we can then start playing around with to create some cards. So for the next little while, let's do just that. Let's have a bit of a play around. So it might be that we're going to add in a bit of coloured cardstock. We might dig around in our stamp sets and grab out some greetings. I'm going to open the door for a minute just because it is really warm in here. Don't want me passing out, that wouldn't be good. And there's no reason why you don't have to use these as they are. You can trim them down, you can cut things off of them, all sorts of things. Oh, look at that one. Why did I not spot that one? That's a good one. We'll have to have a play with that one, won't we? That nice guitar. Let me just tuck my memory more pockets out of the way so I'm not sitting on them. And let's have a look. Where shall we start? Love Your Smile. Isn't that lovely? That doesn't work with that one. That one works better with that one because of the blue on it. But I do like the idea of Love Your Smile. That would go quite nicely, wouldn't it? With a banana background. How's that? let's see if we can find, where's that card that we just folded? We folded one of these. Here it is. Right, so these Memory and More cards stick on there with just a little bit of a border going around the outside. So that's rather gorgeous. Then we've got this card here, but I'm feeling as if that might want a little bit of a border of something. Got my scrap bag of Daffodil Delight. Let's just trim that. And as I said, these cards are, just double check that I'm right, yes, they're 4 by 3, these little cards. So let's do this. Because we're working in inches with the cards, we'll go in inches with our cutting, and we'll do 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. Actually, I did that 4 1/8. So let's go 3 1/8. That's better. That just gives that a little bit of a pop. It's amazing what difference that little bit of a pop of a card behind it will make. So there we go. Now then, we could go yellow ribbon. We've got some yellow ribbon. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? Oh, I think I did post up on my group yesterday, and there was a little thing that I posted that made me smile. That friend asked what you're doing during the virus, and they answered, "Oh, well, I'm crafting." And then the friend says, "Well, what are you going to do when you run out of craft supplies?" And they just replied, "You're not a crafter, are you?" It would take the virus would have to last a very long time for me to run out of craft supplies. And besides which, I can still order, and I've still got things coming through. So if I think there's any chance of me running out of something, I just order some more. It's all good. I'm in lockdown in my craft room with access to more craft supplies. What more could we possibly want? Right. So likewise, if anybody else is running out of anything, I'm sure we can help. I'm going to turn that over. That's quite a nice sort of plain frame on the back there that you could build up, but we're going to use the Mad Bananas because I quite like these Mad Bananas. I think more of that tape is stuck to my finger than is stuck to the ribbon. Let's get rid of the other bits that are stuck to my finger. Now that's quite a flat ribbon, so I think we'll get away with sticking that down with Tombow. And then we've got our bananas. Yeah, I know that feeling, Linda. Yeah, I'd have to be isolated for years to even make a real dent. And if I started, I've got so many other craft things as well as my card making. So I've not actually done much more to my cross stitch since last weekend. Might have to do that this afternoon. I've got knitting wool. I've got all sorts of things. I've got skirt patterns and material that I must have bought about 3 years ago. No, it must have been longer than that. I'm not a great sewist, but I think that's more because I tell myself I can't do it rather than that I'm completely unable. Right. I'm going to tie that with a bit of a bow. I'm not going to tie it with a knot. I'm not going to make that a bow at all. I'm going to just knot it. I think I need to trim that slightly shorter, so a bit like that. I think I might take one of these little cardboard hearts and add that into there. There, I don't think that really needs much more. Could perhaps add in a little bit of bling. Let's have a look. Seem to have lots of little bits. I don't know about you, but I've got lots of little bits of shinies and things that want using up. Let's just put a few little blingy bits on there. Let's have one on our heart. There we go. So there's a... Oh, quilting. You see, quilting is something I'd really like to get into. It's not something that I've got into. Just haven't got enough hours in the day. I need another week in every week to be able to do everything I'd like to have a go at. So there we go. A banana card. So there's number one. So we've made one card. Where shall we go now? I'm really liking this this guitar. We ought to have a bit of a go at that. So do we go? Let's go with another big card for now. Let's have another look at the big cards and see if there's something that we've got that's going to go with that guitar, or whether we need to make up our own background. Now comes the question, what have I done with the guitar? I've just gathered it up, obviously. So let's have a look. No, that's the one we've just used. I don't think we want flamingos. We could possibly use that one. Or we could look to make it a bit more make it a little bit more sort of masculine. Ooh, that's quite fun. Let's have a look at a bit of this time. I am going to go 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Make that a little bit bigger. quite good. We could dig about in, I'm thinking with this, we might be able to add in, because of course there's no reason why you can't still dip in to your supplies as they stand. Where are my trinkets? We could somewhere along the line have a little bit of a metallic trinket there. Where's our sticker sheets? Thanks is quite good, but I don't know that these other banners are really going to quite work for our colour scheme. So I think we're going to have to go with a different, with another piece of cardstock, but that's okay. Let me just hold that down in place for a moment. Let's have a look at a piece of, I'll have a little bit of black. I've got all my black oddments next to me, and a Mango Melody oddment. It's all very good for you, Molly, all very good for you, sort of doing art things, and helps make you good for you, making you feel better. Right, let's chop that off about there, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with the end. And we'll chop that off about there. And we'll stick this onto this black bit. We'll decide what we're going to do with the end first. Let's banner end it. I think I'm going to chop a little bit off there. Chop up the middle. If you have any suggestions, ladies, do shout them out. Or if you spot any cards that you'd like us to play with. Always open to suggestions, as long as they're polite. See, if we'd all been in the same room, Div could have brought her pineapple upside down cake that she's told us she's already made today. We could have been sitting crafting, couldn't we, with a cup of tea and a slice of pineapple upside down cake. Would have been quite nice. So we'll have that here. We'll have our thanks somewhere along the line. Oh, you got a new book to read, Molly? Yeah, I do like a pineapple upside down cake. We'll decide where that's going to go. I think we'll have it going a bit wonky. I quite like that idea of a bit of a wonk going on. So let's stick our card to our black background. And then this card, it almost seems a shame to cover that up, but I've got another one. It's okay. In fact, if I'm honest, I've got another pack. Shh, don't tell anyone. Right, let's stick that on there. And we'll grab this and we'll have that on some dimensionals. Now, I think my black twine has run out. I'll just double check, but I'm sure it did. Double check I haven't got any lurking. Well, I have got some, so it's not my, although it's a retired black twine, it's not the one from the country club, but it would still do the same thing, wouldn't it? I think the other one is slightly thicker. New book art? No, don't have that, Molly. Is that like when you fold the pages in the books to make different? I don't know about where I'm going to put, if or where I'm going to put my little, perhaps like that. Determined to get a little guitar on. Yes, like that. My elusive glue dots are back. Yes, they weren't far away actually, as I figured they wouldn't be. They'd just slipped down the side of the tray in the trolley. They were out of sight but not out of mind. Let's grab glue dot and stick that there. We may need, oh, didn't want to do that, did I? I need another one in the top here, and I'll have to scrunch that up a little bit so that the glue dot's not showing on the outside of the guitar. So I'm just scrunching that glue dot behind. Oh, what have you done to that twine, Helen? That's it, we can rebuild it. We'll have one there and one sticking on there like that. There we go. So we have 2 cards. Let's keep going. What shall we do now? The other thing that's really nice to make with these is you can create them into sort of albums and things. So you can use your envelopes and make up little mini albums. And we certainly did that. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to find it. We did a class before Christmas with the Christmas Memory and More pack. And we used our envelopes out of our card pack to create an envelope album, and that we then decorated, which is quite fun. I wonder if we could possibly make a little like mini one. So your memory album, your envelope albums are just a question of sticking your envelopes slots inside each other. To make little pages. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's have this one here. And then this one, we'll just tuck this envelope flap inside itself like this. And then instantly we've got a little 1, 2 little album. So quite nice if you wanted to send, so if at this, you know, these sort of times you've got grandparents you're not seeing or something, and you want, or friends you're not seeing, and you wanted to send them a whole little bunch of photos or something, you've suddenly got a little book that you can do that. So let's decorate that up. Let's have a look. And the nice thing about this is you can use your cards to decorate, but you can also use your cards to slip inside. So like this one could slip inside here, and you could write something on there or stick a little picture on there, and you've got that pretty pineapple on the back. So we'll just stick that one in there. So either we could write a greeting on there or stick a photograph on there, and we'll decorate that one. Let's have a look what else we've got. That's quite a pretty one. So that one says aloha, and again you've got somewhere on the back that you could write something. So we'll tuck that one in there. Sunshine and smiles, that's quite a nice one to have tucked in. And have we got one more pocket? One. There's two pockets there, one more pocket in there. So let's have a look. Let's see what other card we could have as a... Oh, we could put a Love Your Smile one in, couldn't we? The other Love Your Smile one could go in there because that's got a nice greeting bit on the back. And there's our little album. So what we could do is we could either get a piece of cardstock and wrap it all the way around here so that it holds it all together. And let's do that. What colour shall we go with? Something like soft sea foam. Let me grab a whole A4 sheet of soft sea foam. You might just want, and obviously the more envelopes you add in, the bigger these become. Oh, now's not the time to lose my ruler. If you could only see this craft room, it's we've had all sorts of classes and things going on this week. So oh, it is in there, it's just slipped down. It's just got more and more mad. So that's 4.5, that envelope. So I'm going to make my piece of card 4 and do I want to go an 1/8? Yeah, I think 4.5. So we want to go 4 5/8, and then this way, how deep is that there? That's about 1/8 of an inch deep. So 3.5, 4, 5, we'll go 3 7/8 that way, I think. Let's see how that works. This is just maths off the top of our head. So we want to go so where were we? 3 1/8, 6 and 2 8. No, 6 3/8 we're going to go. That's going to obviously sit 1, 2. So yeah, it's right on about, so it doesn't matter exactly, but it's right on the edge of that trimmer where we haven't got a measurement, but that's okay. And then this way we're going to go 4 5/8. So I'm going to take this card and I'm going to score it, but not with that trimmer. Really am going to have to sort out a scoring place for that trimmer. I'm going to swing this round and I'm going to score this at 3 1/8 this way, and three and 1/8 this way, and then I've got like that 1/8 of an inch down the side there. Now let's see if this actually fits. Let's see if all our maths has been worth it. Let's just fold that second score line, and if our maths has worked. Is Helen's brain working on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning. No, Helen's brain isn't working on this beautiful Sunday. Shall we try that again? Once more with feeling. Dear, oh dear. I dropped that envelope back to 3 and it should have been 3.5. So that's not how you do it. The theory was right, the measurements were wrong. Let's cut this so it is 4 5/8. That was right that way, wasn't it? Let's just check that measurement was right. Yep, that measurement was perfect. Thank you, Valerie. Yep, that measurement was perfect that way. So we do want it 4 5/8 that way. And then this other way, we want it to be 3.5 plus 3.5 is 7 plus 3/8 of an inch. So we need it to be 7 3/8. And then we need to go 3 5/8 that way of the trimmer. Don't cut it off. 3 5/8 that way. 3 5/8 that way. We've got our 1/8 of an inch in the middle. Let's see. Drum roll. I am making this up as I go along. I'm making the mistakes so you don't have to. Where's our little envelopes? Yes. Yes. Look at that. So now we have our little envelope book. And we have our little 1/8 of an inch spine on there, which gives us room for us to pop things in our envelopes, add photos. I know, nearly the end of April. I'm not quite sure where April has gone. That seems to have flown by. So now we need, so I think what we will do is we'll attach that back envelope to that back piece just there. So it's going to drop back the number of spaces we have, but it's going to bring it into that cardboard folder quite nicely and hold it in place. So let's do that. So we're going to put some Tombow on this back envelope and stick that in here so that it's sitting nicely in the centre of that binder. Ooh, it's obviously stuck a little bit. We'll put some decoration on there in a minute. We just need you to come up a smidge. Should have just had the back bit laid down there. There we go. So we'll have that coming across there like that. And then we'll have, what shall we have on our front panel? Oh, that's quite pretty. We'll have that on our front page, like this. But we will take some, I'm not going to go for the braided burlap that comes in the kit. I'm going to go for the braided linen thread because it's just that little bit smaller. Morning, Sarah. So I want enough coming off that we can tie it in a bow there and wrap it round, and some more there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this card off of here. We're just going to stick some tape on there. And then we'll take some dimensionals, and then you've got that front piece then that you can write somebody's name on, make some details about what your little memory book is all about. Could have done with some slightly bigger dimensionals, but that's okay. It's Sunday morning, we're being lazy. We're not going to worry. We're just taking the backs off our dimensionals and flicking them to one side. Tomorrow's another day, we can clear up then. Trouble is, tomorrow's always another day and I can always clear up then. There we go. So we're going to be able to tie that in a bow when we've finished. So there's our little front cover. What else shall we have? Oh, actually, I might swap that. What was the one that I... might take that one out because I've already used one of those. Pop that one in. That's rather fun. I could stick my flaps in if I wanted it to be a bit more secure, but as we're just playing about for now. There we are. Every summer has a story. That would be quite good if you were using it for a sort of summer little memories of summer doing something. Or we've got a little palm tree there. Might actually trim this one down, and that's the thing, you don't have to use them as they are. You don't have to think, well, that's what that one's like, full stop. I'm going to just take a little smidge off of each end as well, so that it's just shorter than the back card. And where's our stickers? That's a sheet of stickers now. I'm actually going to trim this one down again, so I'm going to lose the to the beach. I'm not going to throw that away because it might be that actually at some point I'm doing a scrapbook page or something that to the beach would be very useful. But on this occasion it might not be, so I'm going to trim that down, make a bit of a, let's try that again, a bit of a banner end. So we're just going to have one banner end. So we've got our little car, we've got our let's go. What colour would that be? I would imagine that is possibly soft suede. Just looking at the colours on the paper as to what go with it. Doesn't look very soft suede, does it? It looks almost looks almost either terracotta tile, but it looks darker than that. It almost looks like a Merry Merlot on there, doesn't it? It's quite fun. So let's this is really just playing around with all of these cards. So I'm going to make this 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, just to give that a little bit of a smidge of that Merry Merlot. What's this measuring? Actually measuring 3. Let's trim a little bit off and make it 2 3/4. And then we can trim this. Yep, so what we're measuring this way. Make sure I'm cutting that the right way. There we go. That's that little car on a mat just there. And then we just need to do the same with this. I'm actually going to trim this down a bit so that it fits on that bit of card. And we'll stick that on. It is a slow old day, Sarah. I doesn't matter. I was doing lazy Sunday morning, and I have to be very honest. It was like, oh, should be going live at 9. I'm thinking that isn't going to happen. Let's just make it official that we won't go live until 10. And if you could see me, you would know that we are crafting in our pyjamas this morning. But that's all good. It really doesn't matter. Right, let's put that little mat on there. So we've got a little card that says, let's go. I'm not going to put too many dimensionals on this because it will just add to the thickness of the book. Let's put a little, in fact, let's go mad and put a couple of little hearts on there. Ooh. There we go. So front cover, let's go. Got a couple of pages here. So you can see how this just sort of all is going to build up. We're going to need to trim a little bit off the side of that for that to fit in there. So let's make that about 2 3/4. And then on the other side, we could do with something really that's going to complement that. Oh, look at those. Why did I not see those earlier? We've got some surfboards on there. Those are pretty, but they're a bit loud for that. That's great, but that's not going to fit on there. That's definitely for another occasion. It might be quite nice to fit in on that side, actually. That's better. Let's come that way. It's funny, isn't it, how just swapping that over. So this is 3, so I'm going to take that down to 2 1/8 by trimming a little bit off of that side, and 2 3/4 by trimming a little bit off that side. And that's those, and then we've got our little things that come out there. We could add little tabs to those to make them easier to pull out. That actually is a full-size card, but we'll just have that bit there. We're going to take some of these lilies, and then we're bringing those lilies from across there. Shall we have that one coming this way? So let's go. We've got all our tropicalness there. We've got another couple of pages here. So this one, that's quite pretty. What have we got that will go with that one? No. Let me just have a bit of a tidy. We're spreading just a mite too much, I feel. Excuse my arms as I'm scattering around with these. Actually, I am wondering what I might do with that one is I'm going to take this card and I'm going to cut it to 2 3/4 that side, swing it round and cut it to 2 3/4 that side. And we'll have both edges of that facing each other as that page opens. I seem to have spent a lot of the week covering up that pattern, whether it be in paper or card. And then our final back pages. Could perhaps have some tropical leaves. Very pretty, isn't it? So many decisions to be had. You do quite like that. May do a bit of fussy cutting with that. Oh, that worked quite well, because then we've got our little bit of card just there. So I'm going to take this card just here, and I am going to leave a little bit of a border so that I haven't got to cut down in between all of those leaves. Morning, Linda. And come around here. So I'm not sure that this sort of morning live session quite went where I thought it was going to go when I started. But that's okay. I never promised you anything specific. I just said we were going to play with these cards, and that's what we have done. And we've made a couple of cards that we can be sending out, and a little memory book that you can send off to somebody who you're missing, who might be missing you. Let's just take a little slither off each side of this, and we'll take a bit off each side so that it's evened up. And that can come on here, so then you can write something on there, or we can put a sticker on there. So having planned on using this really pretty card, I've now just stuck that side down. And I will get some dimensionals for that one, I think. These are my ones from yesterday with the lines drawn on them. That's right. We should be able to see when we've taken them off, which after all is the whole reason that I drew the lines on them in the first place. We'll have that on there. That's very loud and amazing. I'm going to put a thinking of you today and always on there. And we'll have a heart inside of that. And where's our little... We'll have a bit of sparkle going on this one. Right, let's clear away some of our debris and see what we have done. So we took 1 pack of Memory and More cards and envelopes. 1 pack of Memory and More cards. We took 1 pack of the Memory and More cards and envelopes. We have got lots of debris left on our desk, but I've got lots of cards left, so I'm still going to be able to do scrapbook pages, more cards, a bigger book if I want to, all of these sorts of things. So this was using so we did 2 cards to start with. So those were just using the cards from the pack, and we just added in a little bit of cardstock and one of the little gems, from the little trinkets from that Tropical Oasis suite. And then we've just used some of those little envelopes, and this we can tie up, and it's not very big, so it would be, you would have to send it large letter size in the UK, but it would go large letter. So you've just got a little album that you're going to be able to write on the front there and tie, and when you open it up, let's go, you've got your pretty decorated pages, and you can go in and add more bling and things to those. And in each of your pockets you've got a little card that you can pull out, and you can stick pictures on, write little messages. As I say, we could stick these envelopes in so they don't wiggle, and I would perhaps go back and do that, but there's a little album, and if you wanted to, you could put another card on the back and secure that ribbon in place on the back as well, or you could put a made by, created with love by sort of sticker on the back there. So 1 pack of Memory and More cards, 1 pack of the Memory and More card and envelopes, 2 cards and a little memory album. That wasn't a bad hour's work, was it? So thank you for joining me for this lazy Sunday morning, still in my pyjamas. I did eat my breakfast before I came on, and I will go and have a shower and get dressed now. But enjoy the sunshine. If you're here in the UK, we have got a sunshiny day again today, so do enjoy that. If you're elsewhere in the world, I hope, for the ladies elsewhere, I hope you've had a good day, and take care, and I will be back in as normal tomorrow morning at 9.